Welcome to today's Well Chat. Listen, we're me and my beautiful, brilliant sister, Benaisha Poole Watson, talk about business, banking, and real estate, right? So we about to get into some tea today. So go ahead and get your popcorn and your pen and your paper, okay? Oh my gosh, Benaisha, yay, girl.
I'm so excited.
I am too, honey. You are like doing some really amazing things. I'm so excited that I really believe God brought this all together, for such a time as this, because there's so much that's happening in the earth right now that people really need answers. They need to know that there's hope. There's a lot of economic crisis, but there's also huge economic opportunity. And we know that you own your own bank. Yay. Oh my gosh, girl, that alone is a situation. So obviously you didn't get here just overnight. This took some time.
Yeah.
So I want to just go back a little bit and just ask you, like, as a child, did you always know that you were like destined to do something like that? Or what was that looking like?
I mean, I knew I was special because my mom told me. But at the end of the day, I had no idea where God was going to lead me or what he was going to do in my life. I had so many things that I kind of dabbled in.
Yeah.
At 15, I was discovered by The Gap, the clothing company, and I modeled for them.
Yes.
And so I thought my path would be in entertainment and modeling and movies and something in that space. I grew up in LA.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like either you're in the business or you know somebody that's in the business. But eventually I ended up going to the military.
Oh, wow.
And from that point, I ended up working corporate America. And just, doing traditional stuff, nothing extraordinary. I was extraordinary, but nothing that was outside of the scenes of where people typically go.
Yeah.
And girl, when I got to the space of just transition, that's when the doors really opened up for me.
Wow. So when you transition, what did you transition from corporate to
entrepreneurship?
What was the first thing that you did in business?
Real estate.
Wow.
Real estate. So I know it's popular now, but at the time I was 19 when I was a consumer buying my first house.
Wow.
So buying my first property was just something that I said I didn't want to rent. Wow. So I was able to put my down payment down and get into a home, but it really took off when I got into it as a career.
As a career, did your parents talk to you about ownership? Like, how did you even know? Because most 19-year-olds are not thinking about owning a home. So I'm just trying to figure out where that come from.
No, it was just something that just it was a part of me.
Wow.
My mother's an immigrant. She was just trying to live the American dream. Home ownership wasn't even a part of the package. It was just like, let me try to make money in the United States and not live in poverty. Yeah. Like, she was a nurse and, but she always spoke life into me. Yeah. And her speaking life into me always opened the doors for more. Like, I was curious about more. I wanted to understand and learn just bits and pieces of things that I didn't see with my own two eyes. I was always curious to see what was on the other end of things.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you buy your first house and then you decide, I want to sell real estate?
Yeah. So I get to corporate America.
Okay.
And I hit a glass ceiling like a lot of us do. And we just start feeling kind of like, why am I here? Should I even be here? Is anyone even watching what I'm doing? Is anyone paying attention? You see Susie, Becky, and Mary getting what they want. Yeah. And here you are trying and checking all the boxes twice. As a Black woman in business in corporate America, it's just difficult. A lot of times when you get hired, people don't look like you.
Right.
So you feel alone.
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot of people to talk to. And the ones you talk to, you don't know if they're going to go tell somebody.
Yeah.
So you just become an introvert within your own space. And I just say, you know what, God? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on. I have many degrees. I have a law degree. I have master's degrees. And I know that doors open for me because of those degrees, but it also opened for my workmanship. But at the same time, once you get to the pinnacle and you're like, man, I can't pass this point.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I do? So instead of me just focusing on other people, I just started praying.
Wow.
And asking God. And it was just a weird thing because normally people get so disgruntled and hurt over what they see with their own eyes, that they get distracted in their mind, right? And it can belittle you.
Yeah.
And so I just say, you know what, God, you're my father, you're my strength.
Wow.
And I leaned on him. I leaned on him, and
listen,
I don't know why I did that, because like I said, the average person would start criticizing themselves.
Yeah.
I leaned on God, and as I went through my journey of praying and getting deeper and deeper and deeper, God spoke to me. Like we're talking, I heard a voice, and that's when I knew that God was real. I knew he was real because there was a man's voice and there was no men in the room. And when I prayed and I asked God for guidance, direction, speak to me, show me what you want me to do, he said, get a real estate license. And that's how I ended up with a license. I was a consumer. Yeah, I can buy real estate because I had money, but I didn't know anything about getting a license.
Wow.
So when I got that license, that's when really things changed for me. And I was able to meet people.
Yeah.
In places and spaces that I would have never stepped into. If I was working corporate America, it's impossible for me to meet developers, investors, people who are doing this, who are doing that.
Yeah.
It's impossible for me to engage with multiple real estate agents at the same time and then become a mentor to people. It was just impossible had I not shifted.
Have you always, because obviously you had a keen awareness that I need relationships and I value the gifts in people. Have you always just been like innately like curious to want to learn from people and value those relationships? Because, you know, you're doing all this at 19, 20. A lot of 20-year-olds are not really thinking about that, but it seems like your discernment was really heightened.
Yeah. I've always been a people person.
Okay.
So I can go in a room. I was very popular in high school, elementary school, stuff like that. As I grew up, I was never like the kid in the corner. I was always the one that was like with the crew, you know what I mean? And so, like, you know, I fell in line with things that were going on. I just didn't get in trouble for it. I didn't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like I was able to just dip into spaces and hear things and be around certain things that taught me how different things move. Yeah. And so, I've always been in a space where I can get into, like, I'm a chameleon. I can change into position. I've been from the White House to the Black House. You know what I'm saying? I can go from the Pentagon to the wherever and still feel comfortable, still feel welcome.
Right.
And so, I think that being a people person has helped me
for sure
transition through the levels of
and the confidence in your own skin. Like you expect that I'm walking into this room and everything that's supposed to come to me is about to come to me. The relationship that I need. So you start selling homes and you had a tremendous amount of success, like your first couple years selling homes.
Ridiculous. Yeah. So I sold 200 houses my first year.
Girl, did you have a mentor with that?
No. I mean, I had somebody that I was leaning on.
Okay.
But I didn't get mentorship.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Wow.
Like we are trying to attract ourselves to different things because we want to emulate different things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it wasn't a direct like, hey, B, this is
you
what
about to do this.
Nah. No.
I just went and got it.
I just thought, like, how would I want to be treated? What would I want to... How would I want to be served? Because you're a servant when you're in business.
Right, absolutely.
And if you're not serving your customer, then you're of absolutely no value. I need somebody that's going to help me.
Right.
So
did you set that goal or did you just go do it? You just did the work and didn't really think about it?
It's like putting a blanket on. You know how little kids build a tent?
Yeah.
And they go in a tent and girl, it's a whole new world.
Right.
I'm in the tent. I had no idea that outside of this tent, people was over there like, it was like New Jack City. It was like... People are shucking and jiving and trying to revive it. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea that in real life it was difficult because I just put myself in a bubble and just gave people what I would want people to give to me. And I never responded negatively to a no. I never felt like, okay, if you don't want to do business with me, that means you don't like me. No, that means you just don't want to do business right now. So I'm put you in my toolbox and I'll follow up with you.
I love it.
Nobody is left behind. I help Section 8. I help people who were leasing properties at 0 price points. You know what I'm talking about? Where as a real estate agent, most people come in and like, I want to do the $1 million client. I want to do $500,000 client. Like you can't start at that. Everybody doesn't start there.
Absolutely.
So I help everybody from the ground up and it just turned profit. Like people who are renters today will be buyers tomorrow. So really me continuing to build relationships is what helped me. I had a lot of clients who will buy in bulk because they trusted me. I was available. I was always there. I gave the service with a Coke and a smile. Like I never told you no. I didn't say I'm in Hawaii right now. I can't do it. You know, it's like if I can't do it, I would call somebody, a resource, and say, hey, girl, can you do this for me? I'll pay you $50.
Yeah.
Whatever I got to do
Right.
to make sure the client feels taken care of.
Right.
But yeah, so I think that's what served. That gave me the 5 stars. That came to people.
Yeah. So clearly you had a value of relationships. People valued you. You valued them, which is a big part of entrepreneurship. And I think I love what you said, how about serving. Like, if you really want to be effective, you can't just think about profit. You got to think about, how am I going to add value to the people's lives that God has orchestrated me to be connected to? Because when I think about people, the profit is going to come. You know what I mean? And so I really love that about you. So, okay, you going crazy with selling houses. And you did 200, I think, your first year, 200. So another 200 your second year. 50, okay.
350.
Whoops.
Okay.
Listen, you better come through with the extra 150, be clear. Okay, so you do 200, then you do 350. So then what happens?
Well, it opened the door for me to say, you know what? I'm mentoring other agents because they were gravitating towards me. Of course, they were like, what are you doing? How are you doing this? I've been in Dallas all my life. I've been doing this for a long time. I haven't been able to do what you've been doing. Can you help me? What did you do? And just free game, I would just give it to people. And from that point, people were like, if you started a company, I would join your team. And so I decided one day, I said, you know what? I have people all over the place in LA and Houston and too many people that were just dispersed. And I said, I need to create a space where they can all come. And then I created the Bailey Watson Real Estate Group. It came to me. I thought about it, and then I partnered with a girl. Her name is Lori Bailey. So she's the Bailey of the Bailey Watson. And I was still working that full-time job. So it was important that if I wasn't boots on the ground, I had somebody that I can trust that was. And Lori was a person that I trusted. She was an agent. She was newer to the space. But she had what it takes to help and support where we were trying to go. And we were aligned. And we started this company, and I had 10 agents join the first month. Within 12 months, we were in 12 locations. And now we have over 250 agents associated with the company.
Girl, nationwide?
Nationwide. We do every single state that exists that has, real estate turning. Miami, LA, New York, Jersey, Georgia, Cali, everywhere you can think of, Texas, everywhere you can think of. Nashville, we're in Tennessee.
Girl, such a betty.
Yeah, so we're everywhere. But the goal was just to, grow. And for me, it's really mentorship because I don't really charge a lot of money for them to come to work for me, which is unique and different in this space because most people are trying to make money off people when they're a mentor. But for me, it's really just mentorship and helping somebody get to their next step. So one day when they lead and they become somebody in business, they can reach back and teach back and all that stuff. Like that.
That is so amazing. I'm so proud of you. 250 agents nationwide. So you're doing your thing there. That's going well. And then you go into a room and somebody comes up and asks you a question. Because I'm like, if that was not divinely sent by God, talk about that.
Well, it's unique because, I started building houses. And because I was transitioning from being a real estate agent to building houses, that was just taking it to the next level. People want to know that story. So I start speaking at conferences. So I get to a conference and my story ends with, I start building houses, and I did 20 houses all over Dallas, Texas. The end.
20.
Yeah. So single family homes. And so I get off the stage and the guy pulls me to the side. He said, would you like an opportunity to own a bank? I'm like, brother, I just talked about real estate. I just talked about building houses. I'm not in financing. You must have talked to the wrong, I'm the wrong person to talk to.
Gosh.
And so he said, no.
Okay, wait. We got to hear this whole story.
Yes, girl.
We got a commercial break coming up.
Yes.
But I'm so excited to hear this because you saw the supernatural literally show up in your life, which is what got you to where you are. And so those of you that are watching, don't forget, whatever your purpose is, God knows how to divinely put you where you need to be when you need to be there. Okay, so we're going to be right back after this break. I can't wait to hear that. Welcome back to the Well Chat, where we talk about business, banking, and real estate with my beautiful sister, Benaisha Poole Watson. So, okay, we got to pick up, girl, because it was about to get good.
It's about to get deep. Okay, so this guy walks up to me. He says, would you like an opportunity to own a bank? And I'm like, absolutely not. See you later. Got to go. I need to get out of this conference hall before I get ambushed. Yeah. He's like, no, doctors don't own the clinics that they work in. And when he said that, it was like a light bulb came on. And I was like, oh, shoot, that's absolutely true. What are you talking about? Say more.
Yeah.
And when he did that, he planted the seed in me. Wow. I didn't know if it was real. I didn't know where it was going to go. Yeah. And I said, I'm going to take a chance. And from that point, because I know that doctors don't own the clinics that they work in.
Right.
So that he's telling me basically that I can own this structure. I can operate this environment and not have a license, not push paper, not do an ounce of work. I can employ people. I can hire. And I know I can do it because I did it before.
Absolutely.
I didn't come from a business phase. I never knew really how to set up an LLC. Wow. I didn't understand, I just got into the space of entrepreneurship without no guidance, no leaders, nobody to show me anything. Wow. And then to think of a bank, that's big.
Yeah.
And so about 2 weeks, I got vetted by the attorneys. They reached out to me that happened on the weekend, the conference. By Monday, they start reaching out to me. Wow. And within 2 weeks, I was up and running as a federally chartered direct lending. Can anybody hear me? Bank. Can anybody hear me? Direct lending.
2 weeks.
Bank.
2 weeks.
With no banking experience. So I saw something on another show where a guy, he basically was talking about how he started a company. You don't need experience. And it's absolutely true. You don't have to know what you're doing.
Girl.
As long as you can hire people that know what they're doing. You can do things that are just stuff you never thought about. Yeah.
2 things that really stick out to me. First of all, your value of people and humanity is real. It's authentic. You were willing to take a risk.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where a lot of people get stuck because, I don't know. They question themselves. They question the relationships. And I am a firm believer in sometimes it is just a divine connection.
Yeah.
And when you feel it divinely, not because logistically you know everything about them, but divinely, when we met, it was like, this is my sister from another mother.
Right.
Right? It was just a divine connection. When you met that guy, it was a divine connection. So you had to be willing to take a risk. Yeah. You had to be willing to trust your instinct. And then you had to believe.
So one thing about me personally is that I've been a risk taker all my life. This is nothing new. And that speaks volumes in where I'm going to go, where I have gotten to and where I'm going to go.
Absolutely.
Because I'm always willing to just jump in the pond without a life vest and I don't know how to swim. Period. I know that if I use my arms and my legs, I'll figure out how to get to the top.
Lord, girl.
It's always been like that. It's
always
very strange. So it's like it cannot be on you. It has to be in you.
Yeah, that's so good. Which brings me to another point, which I think this is what stops a lot of women in business because I'm kind of that girl. I'm going to jump in and we're going to figure it out and I'm going to have so much fun while I figure it out, right? And I'm not afraid to make a mistake. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of women sometimes get caught because it's like, oh, let me go. And I have nothing wrong with, I have a great relationship with my husband. I love him and I really trust his wisdom. Yep. But I also trust my own instinct.
Yes.
And I've learned to respect my yes. Mm-hmm. Even if his is a no, I respect his no. I think that's where a lot of women get stuck because they want to jump, but maybe their boyfriends or husbands or whatever are like, wait, what about, I don't think. Yeah. And so there's a part of them that ends up dying. One thing I've learned, the more that I trust my instinct, the stronger it becomes. The less I trust it, it brings a lot of insecurity and lack of confidence because I haven't developed it. Yes. What would you say? And I think this can happen with men too. I've seen men we want to jump and a wife like, no, you do that. Yeah. What would you say to anybody that is a jumper, but is living with someone that is a restrainer?
That's deep. Whew, that's a lot of people's story. That's a lot of people's story. And unfortunately, if they don't change their environment, you might as well conform. I remember I was watching the show and the mom says, let him cheat in peace. You're not going to get in the middle of it. Let him do what he going to do then. If you're not going to leave then let them cheat in peace. It's the same situation if you're married and somebody's restricting you or doing something to you. If you don't want to make a change, if you don't want to get out of the situation, then stay the way that it is. And don't complain. Don't have a vision. Don't have a voice. Just be in a box and live like that. And when you say it like that to somebody, they're like, I don't want to live in a box. Okay, well, then you need to make a change.
Yes.
You have two options in life. Yes. Every day we wake up, we have a chance and we have a choice.
Yes.
And if you're having an opportunity to do something, you don't take that chance, your choice is to sit right here. So don't even talk about it. Just close the book on your entrepreneurship vision. Close the book on your school visions. I want to have a child vision. Close the book on those visions and just focus on where you at, because clearly, you don't want it bad enough.
Wow.
Because if you love me and you support me, you're going to go with me. And flowers are going to grow every time springtime comes, and they're going to go dormant every time it goes fall. So at the end of the day, you're going to blossom. Or just cut me down.
Girl, where's the organ?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
That's true.
And unfortunately, when people do compromise what they really want, I really think a part of them dies.
Yes.
And I think that we've seen a lot of mental health issues there for various reasons, but I think a lot of it could just be suffocating dreams.
Yeah.
That they've not just given themselves permission to go and try.
Be who they are. Be who they really, truly, authentically are. Yeah.
Authentically, because marriage should not be death to who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
Right? And I think those are things you got to talk about when you're single, like figure that out. Like, because if he can't handle you, who you really are.
Yeah.
Like Ben, when I met Ben, I was already a boss. I was like, listen, honey, I want to travel. I'm going to try new things. I'm going to do new projects. There's always going to be something new going on in my life.
Yeah.
And so are you okay with that?
Yes. The conversation had to be had. Had you not had that conversation and you would have just sprung on something on him, just imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not fair. Yeah.
Not fair. Not fair. So that's really good. So So now the bank is doing so well. I use the bank, and we have a whole community that's using your bank that is having amazing customer service. Who is the bank mainly for, and who are you servicing?
Yeah.
Because you've had some big wins.
Yeah. So I really am open to everything and everybody. I want to empower and give people what they need, and that's access to capital. But I have a direct focus on my people, on our community, the African-American community, the minority community. And the reason why is because in that space, we're lacking some of the pieces that a lot of the other cultures have already passed.
Right.
And so you have cultures who they put a pot of money together and it's your turn, your turn, your turn. Then you have cultures who come together and they live in the same home, and that's just the way it is. You have cultures who, they inspire, empower, and it's generational stuff that's gone on since the 1800s. It had our culture, we can't even identify still to this day where half of us have come from. We're opening books and taking tests and swabbing and surprised at what tribe we're a part of. We're still trying to figure out who we are. So just imagine how far behind we are on financial literacy.
Yeah.
You don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
So with that being said, if you have somebody who can open the door for you and create a direct bridge into the racial and wealth gap, you better walk over that bridge. This is the bridge of Selma. Every bridge near you, the bridge in Pittsburgh.
Come on.
The bridge of this is the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes.
Get on this bridge and walk across and create a space where you can build generational wealth for your family in a trusted environment where someone's not trying to take advantage of you. Because the problem in business is that you don't know who's for real, especially on social. You don't know what's for real. You don't know who's for real. And if I cross this bridge with you, are you going to, is it a pond? Is it a moat? Is there really a house over there? Is it a trap? So it's like, come into a safe space where you actually can turn a profit and get your business done at the same time. That's really my goal. But it's directly focused on our people because we are the ones that are lacking. And, I did a research in 0.3 to 0.4% of developers are African-American or minorities.
Wow.
0.3.
Wow. So small. We got a long ways to go.
Of 100.
Girl.
0.3.
That's the part.
So I'm funding commercial. I'm funding everything that gives people, put them in position. I was talking to a guy earlier today. One of my friends called me up. He said, hey, I got this guy. You want to talk to you? I said, okay, plug him in. So we're talking. And he's like, what do you need? What do I need to qualify? And I told him what he needs. He said, no, what do I need to qualify? I told him what you need. No. What I'm saying, what about qualification? It's like, if you're not listening right now, I gotta hang up. Like, I gotta go. So basically, we'll get more into it, but the streamline process, making it easier for people to understand. Creating a blueprint. Look, this is what you need. 1, 2, 3, and boom. No overlays, no red tape, no redlining, no none of that stuff. Is just straight to the point.
Yeah. No, I mean, honest to God, when I applied for my apartment building and 3 hours later,
come on,
came back with an approval.
That part.
I was like, okay.
Yes.
And then, we started sending people over, approval. And I'm like, what you have with this bank is really like for real. No hype, like it's special.
And if you don't get an approval, we will tell you how to get an approval. Not just like closing the door on you and leaving you behind, because that's the part that people get discouraged. It's like, okay, what did I do wrong? Absolutely. They have no idea because the lenders don't want to take the time to explain to people who look like us because they got so many people who don't.
They have no vested interest.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you and the whole team. Like, they've been great to work with.
Yeah.
Branch man, like all of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really love. It's like a real family.
Yeah.
And it's giving even the investors that are a part of our community. They are really like, I feel so good because I've always wanted to invest.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know like what to do next.
Where to go.
Where do I go? Like, what's a good deal? What's not a good deal? And so what you've created, it really is special and it really is changing lives. Now, you got a beautiful baby girl, your daughter. What's those conversations like as a mom?
Okay, so it's actually getting quite easier now.
Okay.
We had our struggles. So growing up, I was married to her dad. We separated, and it just became us. And I have an older daughter. So it was the three of us. My older daughter went to college, and that left us again. So she was always in her safe, under my armpits, Yeah. And so there's a big gap between her sister and her, so they're not super close. Right. So I'm the best friend. So she's my broke best friend. We go everywhere together, do everything together. But she watched me transition from being an employee to an employer.
Right.
She got that lesson in life. Yeah. And so she watched me do some work that the first baby didn't get a chance to watch. Mm-hmm. And so she just went through her phase. I traveled a lot with my job. Mm-hmm. She saw that. So I had to leave her with the nannies a lot. Mm-hmm. And not that I wasn't involved, but she just had a different experience.
Yeah.
And now that I'm home every day in entrepreneurship, it's like, Mommy, you leaving? Because I hear you here every day. So where you going? It's like, no, I got to go to work. There's still things to do. I can't stare at you all day. But it was funny because last night we laughed and we talked and everything, and it's like now I'm hanging out with somebody that understands. She's 12 and she can get it. So this morning we're driving to school and I'm like, we're listening to the radio and the local station, and they have a little topic and then they say call in. So the topic was something about dating somebody that somebody did, one of your friends, or somebody said something bad about someone you're dating. Okay. And then I said, well, what if you were dating somebody and somebody said something bad about them? I just wanted to see if she was dating anybody. Because now they're getting into this space where they start liking each other. And I was like, what would you do if somebody said something bad about someone you were dating? She was like, I wouldn't like it. I said, would you say something to him? She said, yeah. And I was like, oh, this kid is growing up.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I think it's great because, and that'll be a whole nother podcast that we do, is having conversations with mommy moguls and children, because I think that looks different from the mom that's home.
Oh my God.
This podcast, girl, this has been so good. I'm so proud of you. I can't believe we're out of time, but you get a chance to see us all the time on the Well Chat, okay? Where we talk about business, banking, and real estate. And I know you guys took away some amazing things: risk, belief, confidence, being comfortable in your skin, and giving yourself a yes every single time. Respect other people's no, but always respect your yes. Okay, so I know you guys had a ton of takeaways, just like I did. How to take risk, belief, confidence, relationships, authentically loving people with whatever God has called you to do, right? And then, of course, being a mommy. Oh, gosh, that was a whole nother situation. Whole lot of conversation and a lot to learn there. Listen, make sure you like and subscribe this YouTube channel. Tell your friends about it. Share this information. We're here because we want to make impact and add value. So until next time on the Wealth Chat.
Have you ever wondered how moguls move? My name is Benaisha Poole Watson.
And I'm Jewel Tankard.
And we are
The Wealth Chat, where we talk about business, banking, and real estate.
If you like what you just heard, smash that like button.
And make sure you subscribe to our channels.